What's up, friends? It is Hyperion Carnivore. No more Carnivore Kratos. It just doesn't fit without the goatee anymore. I want to talk about carbs. Let's talk about carbs. So, first and foremost, I am a carnivore bodybuilder. So, I think a lot of the tension between carnivores and bro dieters is like most carnivore influencers are trying to heal chronic disease, help people heal chronic disease, and carnivore body and just bodybuilding in general is just an entirely different context, and there's a lot of nuance there. So I want to talk about how I feel about it. So I think that if you watch my videos and see the pics that I take, I have absolutely proven beyond doubt, and many other people have done it too. I'm not the only one. So I mean, I'm not anything special. I mean, like, out of the bodybuilding world, people like me are in a strong minority. Like, not many people are, zero low carb permanently. They bro diet, they eat carbs. But I forget where I was going with that. I ain't got a good brain, guys. So anyway, so in the context of bodybuilding, I think I've proven, and many other people have proven, this is where I was going, that you don't need carbohydrates to build muscle. You don't need carbohydrates to grow. You don't need carbohydrates to get stronger, to build and get stronger and improve. I will say that, if you're on a bro diet or whatever and you move to a carnivore context, keto context, low carb, zero carb context, your performance will temporarily suffer. You will see aesthetic gains, but you will lose strength and you will lose performance in the gym as your body adapts. Now, a lot of people go through that process and they say, oh my God, I've lost my strength, I've lost my performance, and then they just shit all over it, and they say, oh, I'm going back to eating carbs. It's a process. You got to go through it. And I didn't know this myself, but until it happened to me, because to me, I just wanted to be healthy and look good. So, I was like, all right, well, I'm never going to be strong again. It's not a big deal. I'm never going to be huge again. It's not a big deal. I just want to be healthy. I want to be optimal. That was the whole point of it. And then, a few months into it, a switch flipped in me, and I just started growing and I'm stronger now, pound for pound, than I've ever been in my life. So I think the last time I did 225 for 20 reps, I was on the bench press. I was, probably in my early 20s and about 50 or 60 pounds heavier. And I'm 210 now, and I did 225 for 15 reps. So, I'm getting stronger. So, and, you can see my pictures, see my videos. I'm definitely putting on muscle. I'm definitely not small by any means. I'm not a mass monster. So in the carnivore context, and a friend of mine asked me how I felt about rice, and I just kind of like spurred the whole conversation that I want to have now. So you do not need carbs, but at the same token, you do not need performance enhancing drugs like, Tren or, D-ball or Anavar or whatever. I'm not really schooled on all the myriad different, performance enhancing drugs, steroids, all that kind of stuff. You don't need those, but without a doubt, there is nothing that you will ever do naturally that will come close to pharmacology. Nothing comes close. And all you have to do, if you don't want to, if you don't do PEDs yourself, all you got to do is go to a natural bodybuilding show and then go to one where, where the performance enhancing drugs are not tested for, so everybody's on gear. And you will notice a stark difference in size and just overall size and aesthetics. It's totally different. And that's just the way it is. Like bodybuilding, performance enhancing drugs is the one area of pharmacology where the actual pharmaceuticals do what they're supposed to do. You have diabetes or heart disease or cancer and you're taking pharmaceuticals, you're going to die. But if you're taking gear, you're going to get huge and shredded, for sure. And it involves a lot of work. I mean, you don't just stick a needle in your arm and become, Arnold Schwarzenegger. But, so you still got to work. You still got to train. But the results will be, light years beyond what you can do naturally. It doesn't matter what you take, creatine, Tonka Ali, Fadogia, Agrestis, any of these. You can take all the freaking amino acids you want. You're not gonna achieve the level of size, strength, and conditioning as you would on performance-enhancing drugs. So you don't need performance-enhancing drugs, and you don't need carbohydrates. But if you take performance-enhancing drugs, you are going to excel, and it's very, very possible that the same applies in a bodybuilding context for carbohydrates. Because, there's no way to deny. There's no way that, I know that there were some very low-carb bodybuilders, especially in, the 80s, and then, even before that, before the whole bro dieting science really took off, where, targeting carbohydrates in a bodybuilding context it's a very exact science. It's an art form. It really is. So, before all that happened, there was a lot of people. I believe Frank Zane was super low carb at one time. But the champions, Ronnie Coleman's, Jay Cutler, all of them, Derek Lunsford, Heidi Chupin, even Chris Bumstead, they are all on the bro dieting protocol where they're eating, the majority of their calories is coming from carbohydrates, not fat and protein. So, and you can't argue with that. I mean, nobody in the carnivore, zero carb, keto context has ever become a champion. So, is it possible? I don't know. And I'm too old to experiment, you know what I mean? If I was 26 years old and I was just getting into this, I could say, give me a few years and I'll show you what we can do, and we'll see what we can do. But I'm 50 in 3 weeks, you know what I mean? And I am, by all means, I'm aging in reverse right now, and I'm putting on size, and I look better than I ever have in my entire life. And you look at my body and cut my face out, I do not look like I have an old man's body. I look like I have a young man's body. I look like a 20-year-old with a 50-year-old face. So, who knows? Who knows how long it's going to be before I actually start look like I'm aging in the rest of my body. But, so, like I told my friend, I was like, PEDs are not necessary, but they're fucking fantastic, no doubt. And carbohydrates are the same way. They're not necessary, but but you can't argue with the results that people have had with the targeted use of carbohydrates in their diet in a bodybuilding contest prep protocol. You know what I mean? So you can't take it away from it. You can't deny it. You cannot be, kind of delusional about these things. It is what it is. And just like I don't blast gear because of the health effects, I don't eat carbohydrates even though they might benefit me in a bodybuilding context because the long-term, glycation and inflammation, issues will catch up with me. And I had all of those things up until the point where I went actual carnivore. When I cut out the plants, I had shoulder impingements and tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, and, my hips and my knees and my ankles were all very, very painful and tight and sore. And as soon as I cut out the plants, a lot of that went away. So I really don't want to go back to that. Excuse me. So there's a trade-off. Those people who eat a lot of carbohydrates. Some of these bodybuilders eat as much carbohydrates in a day as I eat in 6 months. It's unbelievable. But there's a trade-off. You're gonna just like there's a trade-off in doing PEDs. You're gonna have short-term success, short-term progress in the gym and in your appearance, but the bill comes due. I always say that the bill comes due. It's one of my favorite quotes. It's from the movie Doctor Strange. He's like, the bill comes due. And that's why I always say to people when they're like, I do this and this and this and I'm perfectly fine. I say the bill comes due. because it catches up to you. It's cumulative. And if you want to, if you want to trade off your long-term health for the shorter-term bodybuilding success, then by all means eat the carbs. You can't argue with it. You know what I mean? Like I cannot as of yet currently say that if you go carnivore, you will succeed. You will be like, you'll see. I mean, you might have some successes, as I have, but you know, like if you want to talk about Mr. Olympia, Arnold Classic champion, professional IFBB pro shows, or you're winning, winning a New York pro or whatever, are you going to win those as a carnivore? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. So, you know, and as a carnivore, as a believer in I fully believe that the less plants you eat, the more optimal your health will be. But I cannot legitimately say that if you do not eat carbs, that you can still reach the heights of greatness that are Ronnie Coleman or, you know, Jay Cutler or any of these, you know, name your Olympian. You know, I cannot say that you will, or you can even. So I'm sure in the future, as this grows, you know, people are going to test that and we'll see what happens. But for now, my stance on it is, if you want to succeed as a bodybuilder, and you want guaranteed success because it's tried, tested, and proven, and, you know, eat your rice, eat your sweet potatoes or whatever. You know, do what those bro dieting bodybuilding coaches tell you to do, because, you know, they have success. They have wins under their belt, you know, and it's a risk to do it another way. It totally is. And I don't know if there's any coaches out there that have the science of it, because it's an exact science. I don't know if anybody out there has that dialed in yet from a carnivore, keto, or low carb context. I've seen coaches out there that, you know, your Robert Sykes and your Robert Goodwin, good people. But, you know, first of all, they tend to coach natural bodybuilders. So, you know, if you want to go keto and be natural, you can certainly do better, but, you know, you'll never get to Olympia. You won't be an IFBB pro. You won't make any money off of it. So, you know, the jury is still out, but the available evidence suggests that if you want to succeed as a bodybuilder, you're probably going to want to eat some carbs. You're probably going to want to bite the bullet, and, you know. And I'm not going to lie, like if I decide to compete next year and I hire a coach, I want to win. And I don't think that a 16-week bro dieting protocol to, you know, compete in a contest is going to harm me terribly, you know, because as soon as it's over, I'm just going to go back to being carnivore. I'm carnivore for life, y'all. This is my lifestyle. I'm not giving it up. But I might bite that bullet if I want to compete, just because I want to win. And I don't know if I can win, and I don't know if I can trust anybody to coach me in that context to win. You know, I want somebody who's going to look at me and say, this is what you need to eat, and this is how many calories, and blah blah blah, and everything I don't believe in, but I'll do it anyway because I want to win. So that's how it is. Anyway, that's carbs. That's my talk on carbs. And you know, if you have a metabolic disease, you definitely want to cut the carbs. You do not want to count calories and when you have a metabolic disorder, or as most people do, multiple metabolic disorders. You will almost certainly not succeed, and in the meantime, you will suffer, because eating carbs eating carbs in a caloric deficit is torture. It's terrible. So you want to be in a very, very high fat, very, very, very low carb protocol if you're trying to lose weight and get healthy from diabetes, from heart disease, cancer, you know, hypertension, you know, just being overweight in general. You need to cut the carbs. The carbs are what did that to you, and getting rid of the carbs are really the only thing that's going to get it done, get it undone. So anyway, love you guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Talk to you soon.